ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، نبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا وسيدنا محمد بن عبد الله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. My dear intending pilgrims, I salute once again the divine Islamic formula. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the last session of this seminar, that is the practical aspect of the performance of Hajj. Yesterday we had a theory of how to perform Hajj and Umrah. And today, demonstratively, inshallah, we are going to see it with an artificial Kaaba, with artificial Jamra and what have you. So, like as I mentioned earlier, we are going to show how to perform Hajj Tamattu, because it's the simplest one and is the most rewardable, so to say. You have Hajj and Umrah attached but separated. So you're going to perform Umrah separately from Hajj. Then on the 8th day of the Hijjah, you declare the intention for Hajj. So, as I also said yesterday, going to Medina is a different ibadah. So we are now leaving Medina for Makkah to start our Umrah. When we are leaving Medina, our station, that is Miqat, has now changed from that Juhuba to the Miqat of Medina, and that is Dhul Hulayfa. So let's assume here is a Miqat. We have our toilet and the masjid and everything. Some of us might have taken the ritual bath, which is sunnah, from their hotel rooms. Even some of might have changed their dressing. The women, like you are seeing here, they can all perform Hajj with this kind of dress. But in our own case, we have two white garments. Two white. These are the haram. Like I said yesterday, the first one is going to be tied around your waist. Look at it. You know, there are different ways of tightening this. Some people will tighten it this way. They'll hold it like this. They will take it like you can see it now. You take it this way and then you tie it. And the other way is the one I'm used to, and that is if you buy the size of yourself. You take it to the back. Look at here. Then you tied it from the back. You can see it now. I have tied it. Make sure it goes round and you tie it well. And there are different sizes. There are small size, middle size, jumbo size, whatever size you want is being sold there. You can even buy it from here. And there's another way which I asked in the Masjid al-Haram. The scholar, they said it's permissible. This one was given to me by one of my friends. We traveled together this Umrah. So you can see how he sewn it like a skate. So it's permissible. You can do it like a skate. You can see even there's a pocket and a zip. So you can use this one or you use the other one. Well, it's transparent. You can find a thicker one, so that it does not show your body. So this is how to tie this one. Now the second one of the white garment is this one that you are going to use to cover your shoulders from the top. Remember, after taking your bath, you are removing everything. You remove the trouser, the underwear, and whatever. And you put this one in this manner. You remove the cap. You always will be left with this one, and the slippers or sandals. That's entering the state of ihram. So if you do this in the hotel room, it's okay. If you are not able to do it when you come to Miqat, if you cannot, or if you have not done it at hotel, then you come to Miqat, take your ritual bath. There are bathrooms there and toilets. Put on the ihram. You have now entered the state of ihram. It remains the niyyah. Umrah has three pillars: intention, Tawaf and sa'i. So the intention is not allowed to be said until when you reach miqat. And if you pass miqat without saying intention, there is a penalty. So you have to make sure that you declare the intention at the miqat. And that intention is labbaik Allahumma umratan. And after taking your ritual bath, there is need for you to go and pray two rakats of nafila in the masjid. Or if it is time for an obligatory prayer, join them and finish the prayer, and that's the end of the game. There is no need for nafila. So after finishing your nafila, you can declare the intention from there. But it's more sunnatically if you can allow yourself to enter the bus. When the bus starts moving, you declare the intention by saying labbaik Allahumma umratan. Or Allah, I declare the intention of performing umrah. I answer your call to perform umrah. That's the intention. That intention is the first pillar of Islam. So after declaring the intention, what comes next is talbiyah. Talbiyah is sunnah. And talbiyah is labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. The bus continues to move. It will continue moving until you reach Makkah. So now, during the journey from Medina to Makkah of about 450 or 70 kilometers, you are expected to be chanting talbiyah, or remembrance of Allah, recitation of the Quran, or salatun nabi, or any other ibadah. While you stop to eat or pray, you continue the talbiyah. While you meet some caravans, some other people coming to perform umrah, you continue the talbiyah. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wan ni'mata لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. Let's say now we have reached Makkah. So we have now reached Makkah. And from Medina to Makkah, it may take you maybe 7 hours, because they are not allowed to move faster, except maybe if it is a small vehicle, maybe it takes 5 hours, but at least 7 hours. And if you are joining the train, it is 2.5 hours. So now when you come to Makkah, you go to your hotel rooms, keep your luggages, and then perform the ablution. If you don't have it, then we go to Haram, directly to Haram. So after leaving our rooms, keeping our luggages, we are now going to Haram. Let's say this is Haram, where we will be chanting labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. And when you come to Haram, we mentioned that look at the gate that you're going to enter the Haram through it, so that even if you are lost, you can still find out the way to go back home, or you can see any other person that you know from that gate. So when you reach Haram, you enter Haram with your right foot by saying Bismillahi wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah, Allahumma gfir li dhunubi wa ftah li abwaaba rahmatik, or Bismillah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa sallim. When you enter Haram, there is no nafila. That nafila is being delayed until after Tawaf. So this, when you saw Kaaba, when you see Kaaba, by the time you see Kaaba, you say Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam tabarakta ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Allahumma zid hadha al bayt mahabatan wa karaman wa mahabatan wa birra wa zid man sharrafahu bil hajj wal umrah mahabatan wa karaman wa birra ila akhirih. If you cannot say this, you say Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam tabarakta ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Now when you reach the Kaaba, the house of Allah, now the Tawaf starts from Hajar al-Aswad, black stone. The black stone is on this side. The black stone is always looking at Mount Safa. So this black stone is the starting point of our Tawaf. So black stone is a stone brought to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam when he was building Kaaba. You know, he was asked to rebuild the Kaaba by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he and his son Ismail. وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. They were ordered by Allah to rebuild Kaaba after it has been demolished by the flooding, the universal flooding of Tufan. So when Ibrahim finished building the Kaaba, there's a corner that requires, something to peel up that corner. And he was looking for a stone to that deserve or can pit that place. And a stone was brought to him from Jannah by angel Jibril. The Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when that stone was brought from Jannah, is whiter than the eyes. It is our dhunub, our sins that turn it black. And the name of it now is black stone. So whenever you come, you start the tawaf from black stone. This black stone, the Messenger said, it will come on the day of judgment with two eyes. And to be telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so person touches me, touch me, so person kiss me, so person pointed at me. So when you come to start the tawaf, you have three choices. For the men, we made mention of al-ittiba, exposing the shoulder. When you're about to start your tawaf, you expose your shoulder by bringing out the right hand outside and putting this white garment under your armpit and put it on top of the shoulder, left shoulder. That is al-ittiba. This one is sunnah. If you forget to do it, your tawaf is intact. But it's sunnah for you to expose your shoulder. The reason why the Messenger exposed his shoulder and his companions is to show the influence of Mecca that we are still having the strength to fight them. There was a battle of Uhud, Badr, Uhud, Khandak, and what have you. So when they came to perform Umrah, the influence of Mecca surrounded the Kaaba, looking at them, look at these poor people who do not have anything. The Messenger said, expose your shoulders so that we show them that we still have the strength to fight them. That's the importance of exposing the shoulder. So it's a sunnah. If you don't expose your shoulder, your tawaf is still intact. So after exposing the shoulder, now you have three options while starting the tawaf. Number one is to kiss the Hajar al-Aswad by putting your mouth without not making any sound. Don't say, there is nothing like that. Just what you do is kiss the Hajar al-Aswad and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar and start the tawaf, which is not possible now because of the crowd. The second option is use your hand and touch the Hajar al-Aswad if you can, and kiss the hand without making any sound and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, which may not be possible also. The last option, which is the simpler one, is you stand from wherever you are and point at Hajar al-Aswad. The Messenger demonstrated all this. You point at Hajar al-Aswad by pointing either with your finger or with your hand, saying Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. But where your hands have not touched the Hajar al-Aswad, there is no need for you to kiss the hand. It's only when you touch the Hajar al-Aswad that you can kiss the hand. I'm saying this because the white people, they are there, they will be showing it and be kissing their hands, even severally. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This is innovation. It's just one. Say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. The moment you say this, then the dua of dua comes after. Allahumma imanan bik wa tasdiqan bi kitabik wa wafa'an bi ahadik wa ittiba'an li sunnati nabiyyika sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you cannot recite this dua, your tawaf is still perfect. So for the men, you are expected to jog. By jogging, you are still showing the strength for the 3 rounds. But because of the crowd, even the jogging may not be possible. So you start moving. As you are going around the Kaaba, I also mentioned that it is the same. Either you follow between Maqam Ibrahim. This Maqam Ibrahim is a stone being covered with glass. Why was it covered? Because people are touching it. Even they have removed the fingers. You cannot see the fingers there. But if you look at it, you can see the footprint of human foot. So that is the footprint of Ibrahim. When he was building the Kaaba, and it reached a certain level that his height could not reach the level of the Kaaba, so a stone was brought to him so that he was stepping on this, standing on the stone and building the Kaaba. So after completing the Kaaba, that one was there, and it's a clear sign that was left to be seen by us. So during the tawaf, you either follow in between Kaaba and Maqam Ibrahim or behind Maqam Ibrahim. It's all the same. Some people will not follow behind. They say, I must follow in between. They are all the same. All you need to do is to go around. As you are going, you have the gate of the Kaaba, this place. The gate of Kaaba is here, and you see a policeman, askar, standing there. Why? He is trying to coordinate the crowd and to stop people from pushing one another, but he could not. But he is there at least to maintain that fear of the people. So now, this gate of the Kaaba, in between the gate of the Kaaba and Hajar al-Aswad, is what we call Al-Multazam. Al-Multazam is where the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam put his chest on it and supplicated, which may not be possible, or it's not possible now, because you need a time for that if you want to go there for that. So you continue your tawaf. During the tawaf, you can be reciting Quran, you can be saying dua, you can be saying Salatun Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, you can be praying, you can be doing things that are allowed and permissible in Islam. You can even talk to your brother as you are doing tawaf. You greet one another. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "At-tawaf kas-salah illa annahu uhilla fihi al-kalam." Tawaf is like prayer, except that it is permissible for you to talk during the tawaf. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man takallam falyatakallam bil ma'ruf." Whosoever is going to talk, he should talk responsibly. Don't backbite, don't gossip. So you go around the Kaaba. As you are going around the Kaaba, this is Hijr Ismail. Hijr Ismail is part of the Kaaba. When the infidels of Mecca wanted to rebuild the Kaaba during the lifetime of the Messenger when he was 35 years old, they could not gather, they could not have enough money to build the whole area of Kaaba. So they decided to build the area that the money could be enough. The other area, they left it like this, and they built this a dwarf wall of semicircle. So this part is part of Kaaba. So you cannot enter through here. You have to go behind this Hijr Ismail. Hijr Ismail, you go around. As you are going, you are asking Allah, supplicating, reading Quran or Salatun Nabi or any other thing, until when you reach Rukn al-Yamani. This Rukn al-Yamani is called Rukn al-Yamani because it is looking at Yemen. So Rukn al-Yamani means the corner that is looking at Yemen. So this Rukn al-Yamani, when the Messenger reached here, he kissed Rukn al-Yamani and said, Allahu Akbar. Where you cannot have the ability to kiss the Rukn al-Yamani, you just pass by. You don't need even to touch it with your hand, or even to point at it, or even to say Allahu Akbar. So people will be pushing one another just to touch. There is no need. It's kissing. If you cannot kiss it, just to go. Then between Rukn al-Yamani and Maqam Ibrahim, we said the prayer to be said is Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhabannar. In every cycle, in every round that you come, there is need for you to mention this dua, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhabannar. When you come back to Hajar al-Aswad, that's the completion of the first round. You missed first round, then you point at it and say Allahu Akbar. There is no Bismillah because you have already said it at the beginning. So you just point at it and say Allahu Akbar. You continue going just like you did in the first round. If you reach that Rukn al-Yamani, you kiss it if you have the chance to do that. If you cannot, you pass by and say Rabbana atina fid dunya. When you reach here, you also point it to that, the completion of the second cycle. Then you go for the third round, the fourth round, the fifth round, the sixth, and the seventh round. Is it clear? So after the completion of the seventh round, now the tawaf is complete. But make sure that your ablution is intact. If your ablution is broken during the tawaf, you are going to start from the beginning. It's just like a prayer. If you pray 2 rakats during Zuhr or Maghrib, when your ablution is broken, if you perform the ablution, you have to start from the beginning. The same thing applies to tawaf. So make sure that you maintain your ablution to the end of your tawaf. So after completing the tawaf, now you come behind Maqam Ibrahim and perform 2 rakats. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. If we say behind Maqam Ibrahim, we mean behind, even if it's far away from the Maqam Ibrahim. It does not mean that you must go closer to Maqam Ibrahim. Some people will say, I must come close to Maqam Ibrahim, thereby disrupting and causing disruption to the tawaf. So you don't need to come here. Just go far away from it and then pray where you can have a chance to pray. So after praying the 2 rakats, first rakah Fatiha and Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun, second rakah Fatiha and Qul Huwallahu Ahad, and then after that you invoke, you supplicate, and then you come and drink Ma'u Zamzam. Ma'u Zamzam lima shurabe. Behind where you pray 2 rakats behind Maqam Ibrahim, there are taps of Ma'u Zamzam. The Zamzam water. You go and take a cup of water or two, drink from the water, make a wish. If you decide to say, Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan tayyiban wa shifa'an min kulli da'in wa saqamin fahasan, is good. But if you have any other wish beside what the messenger has mentioned, you can make a wish and drink from that Zamzam. Ma'u Zamzam lima shariba lai. Whatever wish you have, if you drink Zamzam, inshallah, your wish will be accomplished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is for Ma'u Zamzam. So after drinking Ma'u Zamzam, you have already completed the second pillar of Umrah. Now you are going to perform the last pillar, which is the third one, and that is standing between Safa and Marwa. So walking between these two mountains is among the pillars. I said that Hajarul Aswad, its corner is looking at Safa, Mount Safa. But because in order to control the traffic, now you cannot go directly. Those that perform Hajj in the past, 90s, 80s, they know that you can just go directly to Safa. But now you are being redirected to follow here behind a wall that has been erected in order to control the traffic. You go behind the wall, and then it takes you to what do you call it, Safa. So now, let's say this is the wall here. So you are going to see where the direction is taking you. It goes this way. For example, this is the wall. So you are now going behind this wall, then going to Safa. As you are going to Safa, when you are ascending, you are going to Safa, you read the verse that we mentioned, 158 of Surah Al-Baqarah, by saying, Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillahi faman hajjal bayta aw i'tamara fala junaha alayhi an yatawafa bihima wa man tadawwa khairan fa inna Allaha shakirun alim. So let's assume this is Safa. We have now ascended Safa, we have climbed on Safa. So after ascending on Safa, Mount Safa, you turn your face and look at the Kaaba. And of course, if you're on Safa, you will see the Kaaba, even not because of the building, the tallest building there, you can still see the side of the Kaaba. So you face the Qibla and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallahu wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahada, anjaza wa'ada, wa nasara abda, wa hazama al-ahzaba wahada. Then you raise your hands and supplicate. Whatever prayer you say on this mountain of Safa, such prayer is automatically accepted. So if you pray, the messenger did it even 3 times by repeating the same dua and supplicating. You can do it 3 times if you wish to, and you can do it even once, and then you come down from Safa going to Marwa. So from Safa, as you are coming this direction. If you are going, you go on this direction. There is a building for the handicapped people. So you go this side going to Marwa. As you are going on your way going to Marwa, we mentioned there is a green light from here, for example, to the end of this tree. So when you reach here, the green light. But remember, sorry, I forgot to mention, the men, after the completion of your tawaf, make sure you cover your shoulder back, so you don't remain exposed. The shoulder should not remain exposed. After the tawaf, the exposure of the shoulder is finished. So between here to the next area where the green light stops, they are expected to hasten their walk by jogging, the men. So if you are together with women, you wait for them, then you continue walking together with them. During the sa'i also, you can read Quran, you can supplicate, you can say Salatul Nabi, you can make tasbih, you can remember Allah. It's also allowed, it's permissible for you to do tawaf and sa'i between Safa and Marwa, even without ablution. So even if your ablution is broken, you can still continue your sa'i. So after you reach here, then you continue walking until when you reach Marwa. The distance is more than what you are seeing here. So you continue walking until when you reach Marwa. Let's say this is Marwa. And if you go to Marwa, that verse that you have read is only been read once. So you will now ascend or climb on Mount Safa. So after climbing on Mount Safa, and Mount Marwa, sorry to say, after ascending on Marwa, you also face the Qibla as you did on the Safa. You face the Qibla, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir, La ilaha illallah wahdah, anjaza wa'ada, wa nasara abda, wa hazama al-ahzaba wahada. You face the Qibla, you did this, and you raise your hand and supplicate. The supplication, the dua that is said here is also automatically accepted. That after the dua, you come down going back to Safa. So I said, if you know the counting of tawaf is different from this one. That of tawaf, you are only having one round when you come back to where you start. When you come back to where you started from Hajar al-Aswad, that's what makes one round. But the sa'i, if you come from Safa, if you reach Marwa, that is one count. So coming back to Safa is the second round. Going back to Marwa, the third round. Going back and coming back to Safa, 4. If you come back to Marwa, 5. If you go back to Safa, 6. Then if you come back to Marwa, that is the 7th round. So the completion of the sa'i will end on Marwa. If you see yourself on Safa, then there is a mistake, either commission or omission. Maybe you have added or you have reduced. So what do? You come and complete the other one and then make istighfar. So after this, you have completed your Umrah. What remains is for you as a man to go and shave your head or trim your hair, and for the women to reduce their hair, at least a very little part of it. Is it clear? So this one, you have completed your Umrah. You go back to your hotel room, remove this haram, fold it and keep it until on the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah. And that is why it is called tamattu. Why? Because when you declare the intention from Miqat, there are prohibitions and restrictions. You don't use perfume, you don't cut your fingernails, you don't shave your hair, you don't contract a marriage, you don't do this and that. But after performing the Umrah, for those performing tamattu, all these prohibitions are lifted. All these restrictions are over. Now you you take back your traditional dress, remove this one, keep it until on the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah. So you have completed your Umrah now. You are now going back to your hotel rooms within the haram, because after the sa'i, maybe you go out through the back door of the Safa, of the Marwa, or you come back through the haram and you go back to where you come from. So you are now coming back to your hotel room until on the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah, even if you are going to spend a month there. And that is why the tamattu is the easiest type of Hajj, because those that left Nigeria maybe day before yesterday, they are going to remain there for a month before the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. So if they are going to perform Ifradi or Qirani, they will remain in this haram until on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. But for you that perform tamattu, after the performance of your Umrah, you remove this haram, this clothes, and then put your own traditional clothes, and then the restrictions are lifted. Then on the 8th of the Hijjah, that is Yawm Tarwiyah. On that day, you are going to take a ritual verse for Hajj, which is the Sunnah. If you don't do it, there's nothing wrong. And then you perform 2 rak'ah if you wish to. Then you resume the Ihram. Put back these 2 white garments, and then you declare the intention for Hajj. Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan. The other one, Labbaik Allahumma Umratan, because you are going to perform Umrah. And this one, Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan. Remember, those that are performing tamattu and Qiran and Ifrad, they have already declared Hajj and Umrah together, so unseparated. But in your own case, you have separated your Umrah from Hajj, and therefore the intention for Hajj now on the 8th day is Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan. So after resuming the Ihram and declaring the intention. The buses are there to come and convey us to Mina. Mona is about 7 to 8 kilometers away from Haram. So they are going to convey us to our tent in Mina, and that's where we assume to be Mina. And as we are going to Mina, so you are going to join me under the sun. So, on the 8th day, I also told you yesterday that because of the crowd now, the Saudi authority, by the verdict given by the scholars, they said the pilgrims they can start conveying the pilgrims right in the night of that 8th of the Hijjah. So he may be conveyed in the night, not necessarily on the daytime, but they're all the same. All you need to do is to be in Mina on the 8th day. Even if you're not able to, because going to Mina on the 8th day is also sunnah. You may come on Arafat day and pass to Arafat. Go to Arafat directly without even staying at Mina. So you'll be conveyed to Mina on the 8th day, Yawm Tarwiyah. Let's say this is Mina where tents are erected. You are going to pray 5 prayers in Mina. Zuhur, at the time of Zuhur, 2 rakats. You are going to shorten the Zuhur to 2 rakats. Then you wait for the time of Asr. Also, when the time comes, you pray 2 rakats for Asr. When the Maghribah time comes, you pray Maghrib, 3 rakats. The time of Isha, you pray 2 rakats. Then Subuh prayer, that is the day of Arafat. You pray also 2 rakats for the Subuh prayer. So on the 9th day, all our stay in Mina on the 8th day is for remembering Allah and prayer. You get me right? So now on the 9th day of Arafat, that is the day of Arafat, we are going to be conveyed also from Mina to Arafat. We assume that where those cars were parked is Arafat. So now as we are going to Arafat in our buses, we are going to pass by Muzdalifah, an open plain area before Arafat. So here there are tents for Mina and there are tents in Arafat. You will be taken to your state or country. In Arafat, people were grouped into countries, states, even local governments, some of them. So the countries, Nigeria, and other African countries are very close to the mountain. So we'll be taken to Arafat on the 9th day. That is Yawm Arafat. The day of Arafat is the best day of the year, as I mentioned earlier. So after coming to Arafat, they may decide to start conveying you and taking you or transporting you to Arafat in the night. Even in that case, there is nothing wrong, be in the Arafat. So, but the ibadah of the Arafat starts after the morning prayer. So in the morning, they convey you to Arafat. On the plain of Arafat is the day of supplication, the day of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the day that Allah said, okay, today I'm going to see whatever you want, tell me. Yes. And that is why you are going to combine the 2 prayers, Zuhur and Asr, at the time of Zuhur, maybe 1 p.m. So if you pray Zuhur and Asr by making 1 adhan and then 2 iqama. Iqama for Zuhur, you pray 2 rakats. Then an iqama for Asr, you pray 2 rakats. So after that, you have from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 6 hours to deliver whatever you want to say. Upload all your prayers, all your supplication, your own and those of the relatives and parents and whatever. So on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to tell angels, He will come down closer to the servants in the plain of Arafah, and He will assemble the angels and tell them, He said, "O my angels, look at my servants. They came from nooks and crannies of this earth. They came because of me. I want you to bear witness that I have forgiven them. And whatever their request is granted." So make sure that you don't leave anything behind. Don't forget anything. So try to have a book that you write all your bukata, all your problems, and the problem of others, so that you don't forget. On that day is the day of uploading what? Dua. Tell Allah. And it's not necessary that you must be standing. One way says, are you on Arafah? It doesn't mean you are going to stand there till the sunset. No. You are going to stay under the shade, under the tents, the air-conditioned tents. There are carpets, even there are mattresses and pillows. So you can even sleep, which the messenger and his companion had not gotten this. So now, uh, particularly after Asr, try to intensify your prayers. But between Zuhur to Maghrib is all time for prayers. And Allah is there waiting for you. He is there waiting for you to accept your prayers. The angels are there to say Amen. So when you need something, it's recommended that you stand up and face the Qibla and tell Allah whatever you want to say. If you are tired, you go and sit down. After a while, you remember something. Oh Allah, Hajjah said I should ask on her behalf this. Oh Allah, my neighbor asked me to ask you this. Oh Allah, my this, my that, my country, my this. So you tell Allah whatever till sunset. That is the plain of Arafat, and is the day of renewal of the covenant, because that was where Adam والسلام, were made to stand at the bottom of the mountain, and Allah took a promise, a covenant between the children of Adam, complete all of them, we included, that we are going to worship Allah when we come to this world. And therefore, if you're opportune to be there, it's just like you're given the opportunity or privilege to renew your covenant. Oh Allah, here I am on the same promise I made, the same covenant I took. I'm still on it. That's why the messenger said the best dua is to say La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir, as a word of testimony. So this is better than anything. So say it as much as you can, as many as possible. Recite Quran, do tasbih, do salatun nabi, you sleep, you rest, you eat, you take bath, you can do anything. But don't use any scented soap or use perfume. You can change this one also. If you have another set, you can take a verse and change this one. So after the sunset, it is time for Maghrib, but you are not allowed to pray Arafat until when you reach Muzdalifah, which we passed by yesterday before coming to Arafat. So the buses are there to convey us back to Muzdalifah in that night after the sunset. So we'll be conveyed saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik la sharika laka Labbaik, innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. So after reaching Muzdalifah, you are going to combine the two night prayers, Maghrib and Isha. Maghrib, 3 rakats. You are going to make one azan. That is Kiran Salah, just one. And then Iqama for Maghrib, you pray 3 rakats. Then you do Iqama for Isha and pray 2 rakats. They are combined, and then you sleep there, spend the night at Muzdalifah until the next morning. But for the week, the age, the women, the children, and those that are sick can start going after the midnight. So after the middle of the night, those that are permitted to go, they can start going to where? To stone the Jamarat. So in this Muzdalifah, you are going to pick the pebbles in the morning for the men, or those that are not permitted to go, you spend the night. Spending the night at Muzdalifah is compulsory. If you refuse to do it intentionally without any excuse, you have to pay for it. There is a penalty. You have to slaughter a ram, which is about 250,000 naira. So you have to spend that night. Otherwise, give your 250,000 naira for not spending that night. So after spending the night, in the morning, you are going to pray Salatul Sabah, the morning prayers. And you wait until the brighter day has started. Then you pick 7 pebbles for stoning the Jamratul Aqaba on Salah day. Yesterday was Yawm Tarwiyah, 8th of Dhul Hijjah. Today, Yawm Arafat, and tomorrow in the morning will be Yawm Nahar, the Salah day, Yawm Eid. So you are going to pick 7 pebbles, just small size pebble, just like the size of a bean. They are not to be big because it's an act of ibadah. It's not that you are stoning the Satan himself, just like something like this. So no need to find a bigger stones to say, let me injure Satan. No. It's an act of ibadah. So something like this is what is required. Now, as you are leaving Muzdalifah, from Muzdalifah, there is no any vehicle that will convey you to where you are stoning the Jamrah. You are going to trek. So you have to start training yourself on how to trek. And it's about 5 to 7 kilometers. You must trek. There is no vehicle except for those that have paid for the train. Maybe they can join the train. But anyone coming from outside, he must trek up to where the Jamra is. And you will pass by our tents of yesterday, that is Muna. You go to Muna where the Jamrats are. So on Salah day, the Jamrats are on the same line. This small Jamra is here, the middle Jamra, then followed by a big Jamra. So on Salah day, you are not going to stone the small Jamra, and neither you are going to stone this middle Jamra. Thank you. So on Salah day, you are not allowed to stone the small Jamra. I said the police are there. They won't allow you. And then the middle Jamra also, you are not going to stone it. So those 7 favors are only going to be used to stone the big Jamra. And this is Jamratul Aqba, the last Jamra where Ismail was supposed to be slaughtered, and then he was replaced with a ram from Jannah. So in this case, if you come to this Jamra, I also said, if you come to the Jamratul Aqaba, as you are coming, maybe this side is too crowded, then you turn yourself and take yourself to the end tail of the Jamra. You have a space there. You go very close to that Jamra and start it by saying Bismillah just once and start Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar 7 times. That's the first activity on the day of Salah. The second activity after the stoning the Jamra is for the men to go and shave their head for the second time. The other one for Umrah and this one for Hajj. Either shave your head or trim. So if you know that you are very close to the time of Hajj, for Umrah you trim your head so you leave the rest for the Hajj. But if you know that your hair grows very quickly, then you can shave and also shave for it, because shaving is far better than trimming. The messenger prayed 3 times for those that shave their heads and 1 time for those that trim their head. So you choose the one you want, either shaving or trimming. So after this, then slaughtering the sacrificial animal, that is the sacrifice, the hadiyah, which you have paid either here or there, which is going to be slaughtered on your behalf. That is the third activity. The last 2 are going back for tawaf and sa'i. So if you are able to perform 2 out of these 5 activities, stoning the Jamra, shaving your heads, and then slaughtering the animals, anything you are able to do, and there is no specification, you can start with anyone. So on that day, you can start with shaving before stoning the Jamra. You can start stoning before shaving. You can do whichever you want to start with. It's just that for you to start that tawaf, you have to go and come back. So it's better you start with this one, isn't it? So now after stoning the Jamra, shaving your head, now this haram, this ihram, this clothes has finished its work. That is tahallul sawr. So the restrictions are lifted except for one to cohabit with his wife. So now you can remove this and put on your traditional dress and go to perform tawaf. And I told you that I used to go with my clipper and a set of clothes. After stoning the Jamra, I shave my head myself, and then I will remove it and put this kind of dress. I will go to Makkah for tawaf. So the 3 are here. You can stay anywhere if you know that the pebble will reach the Jamra. Yeah. But if you miss the Jamra, you must not count it.
Okay, so the stone must meet
It
the
must touch the Jamra. And it's wider.
Okay.
It's wider now. Before it was just a pillar, but now it's wider. So anywhere you stop, you can stand it from her. Alaikum assalam. Yeah, you can do that. Even if you have only 7 and you miss one, you can pick it from there. It's still allowed. It's still permissible to pick it from there. Or even if you go very close to the wall surround the jamra, you see a lot of stones there. The pebbles are there. The remaining pebbles left by some people, pick it and complete your own. No, you are asked to stone it, to touch it, because it's wider, you can still touch it. It's wider, it's as wider as this, what do you call it? This symbol. So you can see, you cannot say if I stone now, I cannot get this wide range. Is it clear? So it has been simplified now. So this is the stoning of the Jamra on Salah day. Only one Jamra, and that is big Jamra. Now, Fatima. Yes, they are going to do it again. They are going to cut, not trimming all of them, but cut small part of it, just as you did for Umrah. So after now, yes, you can. You have already finished this stoning of the Jamra and maybe shaving and sacrificing the animal. Now you are allowed to remove this haram. So if you go to Makkah, you can decide to go to a hotel, refreshing yourself, and come to make tawaf. And you can directly go to Kaaba after the tawaf and sa'i, then you go to hotel. Is it okay? So we are going back to Makkah to perform our tawaf. Wa alaikum assalam. Now? No, ihram, you are allowed to remove it because you have finished 2 activities out of the 5. If you decide to go with it, you can still go with it. Yes, you can still go with it. Yeah. Wa alaikum assalam. After this. Yeah. So after you finish 2 of these activities, you are now allowed to use perfume, to cut your fingernails, to shave, to do whatever you want, except having an affair with one's family. It's not allowed until after the tawaf. So now we go back to Mecca for the Tawaful Hajj, Tawaful Ifada. In this Hajj, in this Tawaf, you are going to do the Tawaf in the same manner you did for Umrah, except the intention matters here. The intention of the other Tawaf was for Umrah, and this one for what? For Hajj. That one Tawaful Umrah, and this one Tawaful Ifada, Tawaful Hajj. So you go and start the Tawaf from Hajarul Aswad, as you did yesterday. You start from Hajarul Aswad, you go round, first round, second round, all that you did during the Tawaf. So all you did during the Tawaf of Umrah is the same you are going to do for Tawaf of Hajj. After completing the Tawaf, you go and perform 2 rakats behind Muqam Ibrahim, drink your Zamzam, go and perform Sa'i as you did for Umrah in the same manner. It's only for those that are performing Ifradi and Irani. When they came, their own Tawaf is Tawaful Qudum for the Ifrad. And then the Tawaf for Umrah for those who are doing Irani. So after doing, if they did the Tawaf and they attach it with the Sa'i, so on Salah day, when they finish their Tawaf, there is no need for them to go for Sa'i because they have already done it. But in our own case, since we have separated Umrah from our Hajj, we are going to do it twice. 2 Sa'i, 2 Tawaf. Now, what? Sa'i is obligatory for those that are performing. No, it's not even a well, it's a pillar. It's a pillar. If you miss it, the Hajj is cancelled. You must do it.
Early Umrah that you explained, there was near at
Yeah.
But this one, from leaving there, coming here.
Okay, he's asking when we were taking Umrah, it was from the Miqat. And now, remember, we declare our intention in our hotel rooms. So our hotel is now our Miqat because we are not going back to the Miqat. You have already declared the intention for Hajj and Umrah, but you separated them. And therefore, because of the separation, you are going to declare another intention for Hajj. For those that combine Hajj and Umrah together, there is no need for them to declare another intention for Hajj. For those that are doing Hajj, there is no need for them to declare intention on that day. It's only we that were performing Tamattu because of the separation that is between the Hajj and Umrah. We have performed Umrah separately and we are performing Hajj separately. So we are going to declare another intention for the Hajj from our own hotel rooms. You get me right? Thank you. Now, so you do the Tawaf After performing the tawaf, drinking from Zamzam, you go and do the sa'i in the same manner you did for Umrah, but this one is for Hajj. So after you have done it, you go back to your hotel room, refresh yourself, you can sleep, but in the evening, you must leave for Mina. You don't allow the sun to set on you intentionally. You have to start moving before the sunset. Even if the sun sets on you on your way going back to Mina, it's still okay. But for you to remain willingly, to remain in your room until the sunset, you are going to slaughter a ram, 250,000 naira. It's better to put it that way. So now, sir,
Muzdalifah.
Muzdalifah.
Since you're sleeping there,
Yes.
are you allowed to go with a mat?
Yes, you are allowed to use a mat in Muzdalifah. So you buy a mat or anything that will be used to separate on the floor. Even to some extent, there are some places where carpets are being separated. There are carpets in some places. They have started spreading carpets. But you know our nature, the carpets are dirty. Everyone will come and step on the carpet. So if you have your own carpet or mat, you is better that way. So now, on the 10th day after you finished all what you want to do in Mecca, you come back to Mina, to those tents that we came on 8th day. You come back to those tents for the remaining part of the Ibadah of Hajj. That is the Ibadah of 11th, 12th, and 13th. So from Mina, the messenger mentioned, he said, Ayyamu tashriqi, ayyamu aklin wa shurbin wa dhikrillah. The days of Mina, 11th, 12th, and 13th, are days for eating, drinking, and remembrance of Allah. So you don't fast on that day. You get me right? It's only eating, drinking, and remembrance of Allah. And some people develop the habit of uh, putting their best of attire, going around to show people, yes, it is Salah day. There is no need to show Salah day. So there is no need for this. Remember Allah as much as you can. Remain in your tent, except if you want to visit a brother in another state or something like that. But for you to put that, you are, what do you call it, tazarche, you come and be showing that you have this, you have that. You see people bragging. You will come, hello, did you transfer that 2 million naira? You just want to show. If you have money, you don't show it. So there is no need. Or you see women coming, assalamu alaikum, please, I'm looking for my brother. She's not looking for anybody. I was telling one other lady, I said, what are you doing here? So, Malam, we are looking for husband. What do you say? Go to Allah and ask him. So there is no need for this. Remembering Allah, eating and drinking. That's what the messenger said about these days. So one of the remembrance of Allah is the stoning of Jamara. So on 11th day after, you remain there praying every prayer at its own time, shortening the 4 to 2. The 3 leaving to 3. The 2 that possible should be left 2. So shortening the prayer at their own time. When it is time on the next day, that is 11th day, it's more preferable sunnatically to stone the Jamra after Zuhur. But because of the number of pilgrims, the crowd, it is permissible to start going after Duha, maybe 7, 8. People start going there to stone their Jamra so that during Zuhur, at least the crowd will reduce. So there is nothing wrong in starting stoning the Jamra after 7, 8, 9. If you decide to stay until after Zuhur, fani'ima, but you can still go and do it in the morning. So you are going to pick 21 pebbles for this day. Because yesterday, you stoned only 1 Jamra, and that's the bigger one. And on 11th day, you are going to stone the 3 Jamra. The pebbling on the 11th, 12th, and 13th day is 3 Jamra. So you are going to pick 7 times 3. That is 21. You can take extra in case. But make sure that it is 7 that you are stoning on each of the Jamra. So you will take these pebbles, you go to Muna like you did yesterday. When you come to first Jamra, today is free. Police have dispersed. Nobody is there. So you go to small Jamra, start by this small Jamra, stoning it, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 7 times. After you finish, then you move away from that jamra a little, face the Qibla and supplicate. Then you go to the second jamra, the middle one. You also stone it with 7 pebbles, saying Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 7 times. Then you move away from that jamra a little, and then you face the Qibla and supplicate. Then the last one, which you did yesterday, is the Jamratul Aqaba. You also stone the Jamratul Aqaba like you did yesterday. Allahu Akbar, 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 7 times. But after stoning this Jamra, there is no supplication, either on Salah day or on any other day. It's only these 2 Jamarats on 11th, 12th, and 13th. So after stoning this Jamra, you now go back to Mina. Continue praying, remembering Allah, doing all adhkar. Tomorrow also, in the morning or after Zuhur, you pick 21 pebbles for stoning the same Jamarat that you did today. Starting from the small Jamra, 7 pebbles, stone it 7 times, saying Allahu Akbar. You move away and face the Qibla and supplicate. Come to the middle Jamra, stone it 7 times, saying Allahu Akbar, move away from it a little and face the Qibla and supplicate. Then you stone the last one, which is the bigger Jamra. After stoning this Jamra, there is no supplication. Now you have a choice either to go to Makkah on that day, that is فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. Whosoever hastened his going back to Makkah after stoning on the second day, that is 12th day, there is nothing wrong in that. وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ, and whosoever wants to delay his stay in Mina to stone the Jamarat on the 13th day, there is nothing wrong in that. It's also good. So if you want to remain, you go back to Mina for the 13th day, you go back and pick 21 pebbles next day, that is on 13th. You start with the small one, stoning it, supplicate, middle one, stone it and supplicate, then the last one, after that you just go back. So from there your Hajj is completed. Whatever remains now is just the Tawaful Wada, the farewell Tawaf. The farewell Tawaf is compulsory. If you don't do it, you are going to pay a ransom, 250,000 naira. You buy a ram. So for the women, if they're in their state of menses, they can just go without making or performing the Tawaful Wada, that is farewell Tawaf, if it is a time for coming back to Nigeria. Now, yeah, yeah. No, everyone I have to say Bismillah. Each one you are going to say Bismillah only once, and you start. Yeah, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This one also Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This one also. Every stoning that is Bismillah, it's only once. Even in our Bismillah is once. Now, yeah. No, the biggest Jamra, there is no supplication, either on the Salah day, the first day, or on the other days. There is no supplication after this one. But these 2, there is supplication sunnatically. Now, Khalas? So we can go back to undershed for question and answers. Or do you want to remain under the sun? Okay. We can go back to the hall. Inshallah.